Be considerate in terms of deadlines. This is another thing. So when students say, "Ma'am, sir, can we pass it next week?" Of course, you have to have some limitations on that. But please be considerate in terms of deadlines. Okay, and you have to harmonize your requirements. So if it is possible that you could talk to some other teachers for you to have an output, a single output, wherein all of you can get some components to grade, the better, because that will lessen the burden of our students. For example, this one is not a school requirement. This is actually a contest spearheaded by the Department of Education for the National Science and Technology Week this year, because we don't have the NSTF or the Science Fair. They have what you call CNC Kula. The students were requested to, or the contestants, the students, are actually requested to make some videos on concerning some concepts in hard to learn concepts in science. And in doing so, when you watch that, most of the content are actually accurate. You know? And aside from that, they are actually using some skills there that is not only from science. Maybe the content is on science, but there are some mathematics there. The way that they convey the information or relay the information is can be analyzed by and graded by their language teachers. And at the same time, the way they made the video and the animations there could be a product or a contribution coming from their ICT professor. So as you can see, or teacher. So you can see that there is a certain collaboration among those areas of study that makes them somehow successful. Okay, so if we can do that, then somehow we can lessen the burden of our students. So let's proceed. Respect the time of your students. So if it is a holiday, do not give them. You don't have to give them requirements. You don't even have to message them during a holiday to tell them that. Of course, you have to remind them, but do not do the or send reminders during the holiday, because that is stressful for students. Now, aside from that, there are some teachers who would say you can submit your requirements until 12 midnight. That somehow, if you would like to do that, why not 8 a.m. tomorrow? So if your students would decide to work overnight, then that's their problem. But for them to stay awake because they can actually submit until 12 midnight, that's also stressful. And we found that there are also some parents who are against that practice. Okay, so we have to respect the time of our students. Now let's proceed to the next. It's okay for you to be approachable, but you have to set some limits. So in DepEd, they say here, hanggang maaari ay iwasang magtanong sa guro ng 10 oras ng gabi. What does it mean? There are some cases, actually not some, but there are there are frequent and many cases wherein the students will send you emails or chats, chats through the messenger or some text messages in the middle of the night, midnight. They are actually sending those messages. Well, if you are not actually required to address them if it is after the office hours, so you just have to communicate it to your students that you are going to respond within a certain span of time. Okay, because if you tolerate that practice, then they will do it again. No, there is a high possibility that that they will do it again. And then another thing is you have to observe or remind your students to observe netiquette. No, netiquette. So for example, pressing the present, thinking that it is present, hindi daw ito attendance. No, well, the different online class etiquettes are there. There's so many naman in the internet that you could download, or otherwise you can make your own. But this is setting the class rules kasi for your students when they are attending your classes. No, so one thing, for example, the attire when they attend your class. So do you demand or are you requesting them to be in their somehow decent attire? Ayan. So it depends on the faculty member if you will require them or not. But of course, it would be good because it seems it is just like they're studying at home. Still, they're attending your class, right? So be a role model to your students. For example, be on time when you attend the synchronous meeting. When you have some references, you cite them. There are so many aspects of being a role model kasi for our students. So I think that is self-explanatory.